If I were to tell you that after you consume this piece of paper in the next 2 minutes, you'd have more wisdom than someone that took a 4-year marketing degree, would you believe me? The answer is probably no, and I don't blame you because it sounds like a very bold, audacious claim, and that's because it is. However, I now have 10-ish years of experience of marketing, doing it for real, and generating our clients multiple 8 figures per year. These are practices we use in our own company. It's also practices we apply to our clients and our partners. So what I figured I'd do is just break down how the modern consumer actually thinks and how they work so that you, whether you run a company or you're a marketer that helps companies grow with their marketing, can apply this. It's not inherently complex. If you can think from first principles and you can understand human psychology, you can become really, really good at marketing. So what I'm going to do is walk you through this journey. I'm going to go through each thing one by one and basically just take this full scope so that you have a full understanding as to what we're talking about. Let's dive into it. What you guys are looking at here is what I call a consumer flywheel or a consumer motion. Some of you may have heard Alex Hormozi talk about something called a sales motion, which is basically just what is your sales process. This is a consumer motion. That's what I would call this. Now, the first thing I want to start off with is so many of you have been lied to, and you think of marketing as one of these little circles up here. So in this box or in this circle, rather, have ads. Another thing might be copywriting. Another thing might be organic content. And people look at each of these things and they go, that's what marketing is. And the reality is, yes, it's all of those things, but it's all those things together. And so what you're seeing here is essentially, like I said, this flywheel, this consumer motion, because all this works in tandem. Your copywriting, your organic content, your paid ads, your landing pages, your website, your offer, or the word of mouth, all of that works together. And so when you think of each of these things as one piece, and a lot of agencies do this wrong, or internal marketing companies do it wrong too, internal marketing for your company will do this wrong, is they just look at one thing. So maybe it's advertising. And they go, oh, we're an ads company if it's an agency, or if it's internal, they go, oh, we just do ads. The reality is you don't just do ads, because if you're doing advertising, you have to talk to sales and you have to understand how are the leads coming through? Like, what are they saying if it's a high ticket product where you have a sales call or high ticket service, right? If it's e-commerce, it's very much the same, just a different process. You need feedback from the sales side of things and from the customers and from fulfillment so that you can make your advertising as good as it can be, so that you know what to say to customers, you know what to put in the copy for the ads, you know what to put into the landing pages, so on and so forth. It's really, really, really important. So anyway, I wanted to start with that because a lot of people don't understand why I talk about these things. It's because it's a big flywheel. So with that said, this represents essentially, like I said, the customer motion that they're going to go through. Now, it could vary depending on like where they're coming from. They might jump steps, but I'm going to give you an example of what may happen for a customer that just comes through and they see you on an organic piece of content or an ad as an example. The first thing that matters a lot is that you have a killer offer. Because if you don't have a killer offer, none of the rest of this really matters. You might be able to get a ton of people through the door. If your offer sucks though, and it doesn't sound like what the consumer wants, there's no risk reversal, it doesn't seem easy to achieve, they're not going to do it. So you need to nail this first. After you get that done, let's just say somebody sees your offer in an ad or a piece of organic and they click a link, and let's say they go to a landing page. What's going to happen from there is after they go to the landing page, usually they're going to go back and look at your organic if they didn't come from your organic. Or if they came from an ad, they're going to go to your landing page and they're going to look you up and your organic might pop up. That could be Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it might be, LinkedIn, right? And then what's going to happen from there is they're going to look through. And ideally what you want to have happen here is a lot of social proof and credibility that you know what the hell you're talking about, which is why you guys will see a lot of people on Instagram. They have, client testimonials as a highlight. They have our process as a highlight. They have, meet me and my history and all these things. The reason they have that is so it can actually nurture the leads. What's going to happen from here after people consume some of that content, if you have it, if you don't, you should be making organic content. From here, people are going to go look at reviews, right? As an example, they might go look on Google. They could go to Trustpilot. They could go to ChatGPT. They could go to Claude. They could go to Manus. They could go to Grok. They could go to whatever. Reddit is another really good one, right? Or bad one, depending on your reputation, to be clear. But they're going to look at reviews. And the reason they're doing that is they want to know, if I work with this person, am I going to get a result or are they going to screw me? That's what they want to know. After that, they're usually going to go to a website because they're going to be like, oh, I need to go refine that ad or I need to go refine that landing page. And maybe they exited out of it. They're going to go look you up on Google and go to your website. What they're going to do there is peruse around. They're going to look for more social proof. They're just going to try to convince themselves this is the right thing to do or run for the hills. Then from there, what's going to happen is they're going to get retargeted with an ad. They're going to be like, oh, I forgot about that thing. And they're going to click on it. And then what's going to happen is they're going to go back to the landing page and they're going to book a call or buy the thing. Or they might go back to organic after they went through this whole process. That could be within 10 minutes. That could be 10 days, right? It could be a month. Who knows? But they're going to hit with a piece of organic. They're going to click the link again. They're going to go to a landing page. They're going to book a call or they're going to convert. This is how marketing works. And so I talk a lot about processes when it comes to marketing and building actual operating systems. The reason that's so important is one, attribution, so that you know what's actually happening with your clients that come through and close, with people that don't close, so on and so forth, but also making sure that you can touch on each of these points. So ideally you can optimize for conversions. Because here's the reality, you could have a really good offer, but your ads suck. You could have which means you're not going to convert. You could have a really good offer, really good ads, but your landing page is awful, meaning that you're not following the 5 best principles and the best practices you should be following. If you want access to that, DM me directly the word Miro. I'll just give it to you for free. It will help you out a lot, I promise. So these are just examples. People might go look up reviews and there's a lot of bad reviews that you haven't addressed. Address those on your landing page or your thank you video if you sell a high-ticket service. All of this matters so much. And again, the mistakes so many people make, and I see even professional marketers that have been in this space for so long that don't understand this, they just look at it as these little tiny silos. The more you can incorporate all of it, the more money you're going to make, the better customer journey you're going to have, the better your fulfillment will end up being too, because you're going to understand your customer super well, and ultimately the better experience you're going to have for your business. So go do this. And if you want a further breakdown specifically of the landing page, I just made a whole YouTube video, so you guys can go check that out. It's just my first and last name. I promise you'll get a ton of value from that, and it's not a lot of stuff that you guys have heard before. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to share it if you got value. Drop a like. Make sure to follow this page. I talk about marketing, how to scale your business with marketing. Enjoy your day, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.